income of the economy. So you can learn when the government increase by $10 billion is expenditure, the IS curve can shift to the right by the expenditure multiplier times the size of the change in the government spending. Okay, you have done that in your exercise. So that is what we have learned last week. We learned last week. And here is the IS equation. I recall it. The IS equation is when slope downward in the diagram. Okay, here is the shape of the IS curve equation. You can see it draw it slope downward like this. It means that when the interest rate go up, the investment spending will be reduced, and therefore the total spending will reduce, and of course the income, the equilibrium income also reduce. So the IS curve will shift to the left because the interest rate go if the income will go will reduce and move upwards to the left along the IS curve one. Okay, for instance, at the beginning the interest rate is A bar here at this point. So now the equilibrium output is Y1. Okay, so this is the first equilibrium. But now the interest rate go up to R1, R2, for instance here. The interest rate go up, so the investment spending will be reduced, and therefore the economy will produce less. So the new equilibrium output should be Y1, Y2, smaller than Y1. It means that the equilibrium will shift leftwards along the IS curve. So that is the meaning of the safe IS curve. It slope downward. It means that the interest rate and the output have negative relationship. And we also learned some factors affecting the position of the IS curve. You see that when the government spending increase by delta G like this, then the whole IS curve will shift to the right by this distance. Okay, and why we have this formula we already explained last week, and you also done in your exercise. So that is all we finished last week. But there is one problem arising here. Obviously, the final outcome of the economy should depend on the interest rate. For instance, if the interest rate stay here, then the economy would be Y1. But if the interest rate go up or go down, the output would be different, higher or lower, depending on the change in the interest rate. So to identify the final equilibrium of the economy, of course, we must know the interest rate. What is the interest rate? But as you see, the interest rate is determined in the money market. The financial market or the money market will determine the level of the interest rate. And after that, the interest rate will determine the level of spending, and we can identify the output. So today we will come to the second side of the model, the money market side. And we also examine the money supply and money demand, and we identify the equilibrium. And after that, we will see how the money market equilibrium equation look like, and combining with the IS curve, you can identify the overall equilibrium of the economy. Okay, that is the order of the content we will go through today. Okay, so now we come to the money market. Okay, the money market, as like other markets, must have two sides: the money supply side and the demand side. Okay, money supply you already study in the principle of macroeconomics, and you also recall this content on the first day we work together when we revise all the main content of macro one you have learned. So now I'll just very quickly repeat the key content in the money supply side. First, you should remember the definition of money. Money is any item that you can use to buy goods and services. Okay, it is a medium of exchange, the medium of transaction. Okay, and two most popular items that we can use to buy goods and services are cash in hand and the debit card, the balance in your debit card, or we call it the demand deposit. Okay, so there are two items that you can use to buy goods and services. You go to the supermarket, you can take the cash out of your pocket, or you can use your debit card to sweep the post machine and the transaction is successful. Okay. The second point in the money supply side you must remember is the process of creating money. Three economic agents join in the process of creating money. First is people, the public. First is the central bank. The central bank must print and issue paper money to the public. Okay, so you can have a bill in your pocket. And after that, the public or the people, the second agent, economic agent, must send some of its cash into the bank to have a new debit card. Okay, so the debit card only created when the public sends their money to the bank in the form of demand deposits. So the bank will issue the debit card, and you can use your debit card to buy goods and service. But at the same time, you have less money. So actually, the total amount of money is still unchanged. And the third economic agent joining in this process is a commercial bank, the banking system. When the commercial bank receives your money, instead of holding all money as a reserve, the commercial bank can lend down money back to the public. So a part of the amount of cash it received from the public will be lent back to the economy. So the total amount of money, including the debit card and the cash, will be increasing and more money will be appearing in the economy. So that is the way money is created in the economy. The public must put money in the bank, then the bank lend down a part of money it received back to the public, and money will be created. That is the process. So that is the second content you should remember, the way to create money. And the third point in this chapter you should remember is the money supply formula or money multiplier formula. You should remember that money supply equals a monetary base. It means the amount of money issued by the central bank to the public times the money multiplier. And the money multiplier equals the ratio of cash ratio plus the 1 to the cash ratio plus reserve ratio. Okay, that is a formula in macro 1 you have learned. Okay, so that is a formula to tell us how money supply will be changed when the monetary base changes, when the reserve ratio changes, or when the cash ratio changes. Okay, so if the public change its behavior, keep cash or keep demand deposit or debit card. When the commercial bank change its behavior, keeping reserve more or less, they will have impact on the money supply. Okay, so that is the third content in that chapter in the money supply side. And the last point in this chapter is that how the central bank change the money supply. You remember that central bank has three tools, three ways to change the money supply. The first way is to buy or sell government bond. Okay. When the central bank buy government bond, the central bank have to pay money back to the bond holder. It means pay back money to the commercial bank, to the public. And therefore the public have more money and money supply will be increasing. Okay. The second way is to change the discount rate. It means to change the interest rate on the loan to the commercial bank. Sometimes the commercial bank run out of reserve, and the commercial bank will run to the central bank to borrow money. And the commercial bank have to pay interest rate on that loan, and that is the discount rate. So when discount rate is so low, for example, 0%, it means borrowing money from the central bank is costly, free. So the commercial bank will borrow a lot from the central bank, and therefore they have more money to lend out to the public, and therefore the money supply will be higher. And the last tool is that the central bank can change its required reserve ratio. And you see, the central bank requires the commercial bank to keep some money as a reserve to ensure the safety of the banking system. So anytime when some customer come to the bank and withdraw money, they can get money they want. Without reserve, the commercial bank couldn't pay back. Okay, so if the bank keeps some amount as reserve, then they can pay back money to the customer anytime they want. So it have increased the safety of the banking system. Okay, and now if the required reserve ratio is so low, 0%, for instance, it means that the commercial bank very happy. I don't have to keep much as reserve. I can lend out more as much as possible, so I can earn more interest income, and my commercial bank profit will be higher. So the commercial bank will lend out more, and when they lend out more, of course, money in the public hands will be more, and the money supply will be more. Okay, so there are three ways that the central bank can affect the money supply. Okay, then that is what you have learned in macro 1. But as you see, when we analyze the market, we must have both sides, supply side and demand side. And today we will continue with the money demand side. Money demand just reflect the amount of money we want to hold in our hand for transactions. Okay, so please tell me some reason that lead to holding money in your hand. Why do you keep money in your hand, in your pocket? Okay, can you tell me some reason why you hold money now? You have 1 minute to think of, and then I will ask some of you to give the answer. Why do we hold money in pocket?
Em thêm là
không rõ lắm. Riêng Việt là bao giờ cũng bị nhỏ nhỏ sao các bạn? Cái mic chắc là nó không tốt à?
Chắc thế.
Ok.
Em thấy thì là mình we often keep money in the pockets as a mean of reserve. That is kind of unfortunate, even like the motorcycle is broke. It's broke and we need to fix in the middle of the road, or that is that some unexpected event that happened that needs our intensive money, and
Yes.
we cannot just go to the TM to withdraw it or go to the bank to withdraw it.
Yes, that is one reason why you have to hold money. Sometimes we have unexpected expenditure, and without money, you couldn't undertake that transaction, okay, and you get a lot of problems. inconvenience. So normally you should keep money in your pocket just in case. Okay, and that in economic term we call it is a transactionary motivation, precautionary motivation. Okay, động cơ dự phòng, precaution. Okay, any other reasons that you hold money? The first reason I already mentioned at first is that every day we have to buy something. You have to pay for food, you have to pay for parking ticket, you have to pay for drink. So you must keep money in your pocket. Money means that the cash and the debit card. Okay. So you have to keep that amount of money. But normally you must keep more money than your expected spending. For example, my planned spending every day is 200,000 Vietnam đồng. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I only keep 200,000 Vietnam đồng in my pocket. I should keep more than that because sometimes I have unexpected spending, like my car is broken on the road, so I must have money to fix it, to have someone fix it. So it is called the precautionary motivation, động cơ dự phòng. Okay. But is there any other reason for holding money? Let me assume that in 3 months, the stock market in Vietnam will collapse. Okay. The price of stock will reduce by half. So what happened to the amount of money you want to hold today? If you believe that the stock market will be collapsed in 3 months, it means the price of stock will go down a lot, go down by a half. So what happened to our money demand today? And why?
I think that the demand for money today will increase, that people would like to save the money for the collapse that next few months to, and then when the price of stock is cheap, that they can reinvest the money they have been reserved that.
Okay, exactly. If you believe that the stock market collapsed in 3 months, so it's better if you can sell all your stock today. Okay, it means that you want to hold money today because money can protect your wealth better than holding financial instrument like stock. Okay, that is called the speculative motivation, động cơ đầu cơ. As you can see in 2008, when the financial crisis occurred in US, and you see this crisis started at the banking system. Okay, some big bank in US collapse, almost go to the bankrupt. They run out of money, and many CEO of this bank make a phone call to Warren Buffett, the very famous financial investor, you know. And asked him to rescue them because at that time he has around $5 billion in cash. He didn't hold stock at that moment. He has up to $5 billion in cash or almost cash. And $5 billion is a huge amount of money, and that's enough to rescue any bank in the banking system in US. Because if the bank can go bankrupt because many customers run to the bank and withdraw money, and the bank couldn't pay back the debt because most of their money stay in the loan because they make a loan to the firm in the past, or they can invest in the stock market in the past, and they couldn't quickly convert back to cash. And if they can have $5 billion, it can help the bank pay back the customer when they withdraw money. And if the bank can pay back the customer at the beginning, the customer will feel safe, and therefore they will not continue withdrawing money from the bank. You withdraw money from the bank because you worry about the safety of the bank. But now if you feel the bank safe, because it can pay back money anytime you withdraw, so you won't withdraw, and therefore the bank can be safe again. But at that moment, Warren Buffett didn't rescue those banks because he believed that this bank has some problem and those problems couldn't be solved. The bank invests in so many risky projects, in so many risky financial assets, and sooner or later the bank will go into bankrupt because they lost a lot of money. And he decided to not rescue those banks. And when those banks go bankrupt, many other banks have trouble and their stock price go down. After 1 year, he used his $5 billion to buy those stocks. And you see that the stock at that time is very cheap. And with $5 billion, he can own a lot of stock from other stockholder. He buy back stock from other stockholder. And he knew that sooner or later the economy will recover. And when the economy recovers, the stock price will go up back to its normal level. Now it's too low. But in the near future, it will increase back to its normal level. And his $5 billion, 1 or 2 or 3 years later, would be 10 or $15 billion. And that become true. That would be realized. Okay. And after a few years, his assets, his wealth increase a lot. That is the case of Warren Buffett to illustrate the importance of holding money. Of course, in a normal condition, holding money is not a good choice because it gives you a very low return. If you deposit money in the bank, in short term, interest rate is very low. Okay, if you put in the demand deposit account, interest rate is nearly 0%, only 1% after 1 year, very small. So you can consider it as 0. Instead, if you buy stock, you can make a huge return. The price of stock can go 20, 30 or double after 1 year, and your wealth can double. But in some cases, the stock also can reduce. Its price can reduce a lot, and you make a loss. And in that time, if you know, you should convert your stock to cash, to money. Okay, so that is the third reason explaining why in some period, in some condition, we should hold money. Okay. So there are 3 reasons explaining why we hold money in our pocket. So now the next question for you. In your opinion, the amount of money you hold in your pocket, much or little, depend on what? Some of you hold more money in the pocket, the other hold less money in the pocket. So the amount of money you hold depend on what? Okay, you have 2 minutes to think, and then I ask some of you to answer.
Smoking, no cooking.
Ok. Rồi. Nhờ bạn Phương Trang nhé. Can you tell me the amount of money you hold in your pocket depend on what?
I think the amount of money I hold in pocket depend on the interest rate. And you can deposit money to the bank to get interest. So if the interest rate is smaller, and people don't like to get to put money to the bank, so they will keep more money in pocket.
Let me recall. When the interest rate go up, so the amount of money you hold will be more or less?
Will be less.
Will be less. So you deposit money in the bank? Yes, to earn interest income. Okay, exactly. The first item, the first factor affecting the amount of money we hold is the interest rate. When interest rate is low, you keep more money in your pocket for convenience. But when the interest rate is so high, the interest rate income is very high, so you should put money in the interest-bearing assets such as the bank account or the stock or the bond, and therefore the amount of money you hold will be less. Exactly. What is the second factor?
I think the second factor is the expectation in investment, like real estate. If you expect the house price to rise in the future, so you can invest more in today, so you keep less money.
Okay, the expected price of financial
On
assets in general or non-financial assets such as the housing. But in general, they are the interest rates. Okay, interest rate, it means the return, the rate of return you get from stock, from bond, from housing. Okay, so you can combine them into one factor, the rate of return, expected rate of return. So besides that factor, is there any other factor?
I just think about that factor.
In your opinion, you hold more money or I hold more money in the pocket? You or I hold more money in the pocket.
I think it's me.
You hold more money in the pocket than me?
I think it's you. Sorry.
Why think so?
Because you have more income than me.
Exactly. The second factor you should mention is income. If someone have a higher income, normally, not true all the time, but normally, they will spend more. And in order to spend more, they should have more money in the pockets for transaction, larger amount of transactions. Okay, so that is the second factor, the income. When the economy grows, we produce more goods and service, but we need more money for a larger amount of transaction, and therefore the money demand will be higher. Okay, so that is the second factor. And the last factor, can you guess when I was a student, how much money I hold in my pocket when I went to the canteen of our university for meal, for lunch?
I guess is
20 years ago. 20 years ago, when I went to the canteen for lunch with my friends, can you guess how much money I took with me?
I guess 20,000 though.
20,000? Only 1/4. 5,000. That's enough for me for a lunch with my friend in our canteen, university canteen. Why? Why keep much less money than you take today? Today, if you went to the canteen, you must take at least 50,000, 30 or 50,000 normally.
Because at that time, I think the price of schools is cheaper.
Yes, the price at that time is much lower. Goods and service are much cheaper than were much cheaper than today. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your answer. So there are three factors determining the amount of money we want to hold in our pocket. First, it depends on our income. If our income is higher, we keep more money in our pocket. Second factor is the price level. If the price go up, you should keep money more in your pocket to pay for a more expensive product. And the last factor is the interest rate. And when interest rate go up, you should put money in the interest-bearing assets, such as stock, banking account, saving account, or others. You should hold less money. Okay. Okay, so there are three factors affecting money demand. The next question for you. Now we know the money market consisting of two sides, money supply and money demand side. And as you can see, when the market is in disequilibrium, not equilibrium, something will be adjusted to have balance the market, okay, to restore the market equilibrium. Okay, so now let's analyze for the money market. Assuming that now the money supply or the money you hold in your pocket is only 500,000. But now it's very close to Tet holiday, okay? And you need to spend a lot. So actually the amount of money you want to hold in your pocket, is 2 million Vietnam đồng, okay? You want to hold 2 million Vietnam đồng in your pockets. But actually now you have only 500,000 Vietnam đồng in your pocket. It means that the money market is not equilibrium. The money supply, the money you have, is not equal, or more exactly is smaller than your money demand. So what would you do now? And what would happen next? What would be changed to have balance the money market? Okay. I repeat my question. Now your money supply is less than your money demand. So what would you do? And when you do so, what would be changed? And how the money market equilibrium can be restored? Okay. You have 2 or 3 minutes to think of, and then I will ask some of you to give answer. Okay. The next person, Thanh Nga.
Yeah.
Can you tell me now if the amount of money in your pocket is less than the amount of money you really want to hold? So what would you do? And when you do so, what must be changed to have the money market equilibrium to be restored?
No. If my actual money in my pocket is less than my planned, I think I will find more way to increase my money, like find more job to work to increase my income.
You should distinguish between money and income. You have less money than you expect, it doesn't mean that you don't have income. Now, I can earn 20 million Vietnam dong per month, for instance, but maybe my money I own only 500,000, and actually now I want to have 2 million in my pocket. So, what would I do in this case?
I mean, if I have a job, I will find more job to do, I think.
Job will help you more. Will help you have more income.
Yes.
Okay. But my question is that's not to increase your income. My question is that you increase your amount of money. Money and income are two separated concepts. Yes. I can be very rich. I can have a very high income, but I have only little amount of money. You can be a student. You don't have much income or low income or even no income, but you can have a lot of cash in your pocket. It's quite possible. So more practically, when you don't have enough money in your pocket, what should you do? You need to find more job to work to have a higher income. Have a job and have a higher income is a long-term story. My question is only for short-term response. If you don't have enough money in your pocket, what should you do?
I think I will borrow money from the bank.
Yes, maybe borrow money in the bank, and more practically, you can withdraw money from the bank. Yes. Because actually you can have saving. Okay. I can have my bank account, 100 million in my bank account, but now my pocket is only 500,000. Okay. And now I need to buy a new television, for example. I don't have enough cash. So very simply, I just go to the bank and withdraw money. And in some case, if you don't have enough saving, you can borrow money from the bank. Okay. But withdrawing money from your bank account is more practical than borrowing money from someone else, from the bank. Okay, when you borrow money from the bank or withdraw money from the bank, and you do so, I do the same thing, and your friend do the same thing, because all of us are in shortage of money. All of us will withdraw money from the bank. So what happened to the bank? Okay, Thanh Nga, can you continue?
Actually, I think in that case, the money in the bank is decreased, so they will do some to stimulate the consumer deposit more money to the bank.
How?
So
how can the commercial bank encourage public to deposit more or to stop withdrawing money from the bank, so the bank will not be in lack of money?
They can decrease the interest rate, so more people will increase.
Yes,
increase the
interest rate. Okay, so depositing money in the bank is more profitable for us, so we will deposit more or not. And when the interest rate go up, do you want to hold more money as before?
No, because at that time I will send my money to the bank deposit more.
Yes,
to
and
earn more
therefore,
interest.
yes, and therefore the money market equilibrium can be restored. Okay. Okay, thank you for your answer. Okay, so that is the way the money market will be adjusted on its own to restore the equilibrium. Okay, when money supply less than money demand, we will withdraw money from the banking system. And when we do so, the bank is lack of money, and therefore it must raise the interest rate. But when the interest rate go up, we will not want to hold as much money as before. Okay, because putting money in the bank is more profitable than before. So instead of want to hold 2 million, now I only want to hold 600 or 1 million. Okay, so the amount of my money demand will be reduced and it will be balanced with money supply. Okay, so that is the reason why in the money market equilibrium we will analyze on this scale the interest rate on the vertical axis and the money supply on the quantity of money on the horizontal axis. Okay, and here if we assume that the central bank completely determines the money supply, therefore the money supply curve will be vertical like this. It's vertical. It means that the central bank wants money supply to be 1,000 billion. Then it should be 1,000 billion regardless of the interest rates. Okay, the money demand should slope downward like this. Okay, it means that when the interest rate is so high, we want to hold little amount of money. Okay, we want to put money in the banking system to earn interest income. But when the interest rate reduce to a low level, okay, for example at this level, so we want to hold more money in our pocket because holding money is more convenient for transaction and for expected and unexpected transaction. Okay, and the interest income we lost is very small, so it's no problem for us. Okay, so that is the equilibrium of the money markets. But as you see, the demand curve will not stay here forever. The money market can be changed. The money demand can be changed. The money supply we assume determined by the central bank, it will be fixed here. But the money demand can be changed. Okay. For example, who can tell me what happened to the interest rate if the economy grows and produce more goods and services? When the economy grows and produce more goods and services, what happened to the money to the equilibrium interest rate? Okay. If the economy grows and produce more goods and services, what happened to the equilibrium interest rate? Okay, you can think for 1 minute and then I will ask some of you to answer. Okay, the next person, Mr. Nguyễn Anh Quang. If the economy produce more goods and services, so in your opinion, what would happen to the equilibrium interest rate?
I think that if the economy produce more goods and services, people will have more. People will want to keep more money. They want to hold more money. So the demand of the money demand will shift upward, which means that the equilibrium interest rate will also go up.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for your answer. Okay, when the economy produce more goods and services, it means that we need more money for a larger amount of goods and services, for transacting, for buying a larger amount of goods and services. So money demand will be higher. Okay, when we produce more goods, we have a higher income, the money demand will be more. So on the graph, the money demand curve will shift upward to the right. And when the curve shifts to the right, you can see that the new equilibrium interest rate should be higher than before. Okay. And when the interest rate is higher, the money demand will be less. Okay. We produce more goods, we need more money. But at the same time, the interest rate go up. So we want to put money in the bank saving account or the stock. Therefore, the money demand will reduce. So they will offset each other. Okay. Higher income, higher money demand, higher interest rate, lower money demands, and they balance with each other, and money demand stays the same, equal to the given money supply. Okay, that is the way the interest rate will be adjusted to help restore the equilibrium of the money market. Okay, and that is the reason why the NM curve, the money market equilibrium, okay, slope upward like this. It is called NM. NM stands for money demand equal money supply. N stands for liquidity, tính lọc, tính thanh khoản. Liquidity means that we hold money for transaction, okay, because money is very liquid. It is very convenient for transaction. Tiền mặt, tiền thì nó tính thanh khoản rất cao, tức là khả năng dùng để giao dịch rất là tiện lợi. Okay, that is the main reason why we hold money, for liquidity. Okay, so when liquidity or money demand equal M, M stands for money supplied, then the money market is in equilibrium. And the NM curve slope upward like this. It means that when the interest rate, when the income is low, it means that the money demand is low. Money demand is low, it means that the interest rate also low. Okay, you don't have money demand, so you put most of your money in the banking system, so the banking system will pay a very low interest rate, enough to attract you to put money in the bank. But over time, when the production increase to Y2, we produce more goods, we need more money, so interest rates should be increasing to help balance the money market. That is the explanation for the shape, the upward sloping of the NM curve. Okay. And now, please tell me some reason that lead to the shift of the NM curve to the right. In which case, the NM curve will shift to the right. Okay, you have 2 or 3 minutes to find out the answer. Please tell me some reasons that make the NM curve shift to the right. Okay. Okay. The next person. Nguyễn Đình Việt. Việt, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you tell me some reasons that makes the NM curve shift to the right?
I think that's unreasonable reason like 4 or like yeah, uh, 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 yeah, like credit for that will make people less make transaction and therefore shift the curve to the right to the left. I think that
Excuse me, can you repeat your answer?
like credit for that will make people I think that grateful that will make people less make transaction and therefore it increase the demand for the money.
No, my question is that which makes the NM curve shift to the right. So when the NM curve shift to the right, it means that given the interest,
And then curve shift to right, not the
not the money demand curve. What makes the NM curve, the money market equilibrium curve, shift to the right?
The government print more money.
Yes, when the central bank print and issue more money, it means the money supply will be
Much larger and
yes, will be more, and therefore also the NM curve will shift to the right.
and another another solution I think that is that an increase in salary income. I think so, but I think that it would be more like IS curve is more.
Yes, if they affect the IS curve, not the money market curve, money market equilibrium curve. Okay, thank you for your answer. Looking back this graph, you can see that if you you can ignore the red line on the left panel diagram. Okay, you can ignore the red line. So now if the money supply, the vertical line, shift to the right, okay, shift to the right, okay. So the interest rate would be lower, even the income unchanged. At the given amount of income Y1, the interest rate should be lower. You see, when the money supply increase, the money supply curve will shift to the right, and it will cross the money demand curve, the blue line, at the lower interest rate. It means that given the income Y1, the interest rate now, the new equilibrium interest rate now is lower than before. So on the right panel diagram, at the given interest rate, at the given income Y1, the interest rate now is smaller than R1. It means that you have to draw the NM curve parallel to the O1 and lower. The NM curve should be lower. Okay, you can shift downwards to the right. Okay, that is one reason explaining why the NM curve shift. The money supply increase. The second reason, if the price go down, what happened to our money demand at the given interest, at the given income? If the price go down, of course, you have a lower money demand. Okay, lower money demand, it means that the money demand curve will shift to the left, downward to the left, and therefore the interest rate should be lower. The equilibrium interest rate should be lower. Okay, it means that given income Y1, when the price go down, the interest rate also go down. So the NN curve should shift downward to the right. Okay, when the price go down. When the price go down, the interest rate should be lower than before, given the income Y1. Okay, so the new interest rate should be here, R3, for example. It means that the whole NF curve shift downward. That is the second factor. That's shifting the NF curve to the right. And the last factors, I want to ask you, now, if you believe that the stock market or the banking system can get into a big trouble in the near future, what happened to the position of the NN curve? Okay, I repeat my question. Now, if you believe that the stock market or the banking system will be in a big trouble in the near future, so what would happen to the position of NM curve and why? You can think for a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and I will ask some of you to give the answer. Vâng, nhờ bạn. Tiếp theo, nhờ Tuấn Anh ạ.
Dạ của em thì
Yes.
well, I think that when people believe that the stock market is going to be in trouble, so they will not very likely to put their money in the stock market anymore, so that they keep the money in the pocket, so that what happened is that the money supply is higher than the
Money supply is unchanged, is determined by the central bank, and in this case, the central bank has no intervention in the market. So
no. I mean the money in your pocket.
As the money in the pocket.
Yeah, if you don't put money in the stock market anymore, you have more money in your pocket, and the money in your pocket is higher than
the
what
money you want to hold in the pocket is more. It's different from the money in your pocket. The money in your pocket is the money supply, but money you want to hold in your pocket is a money demand. So please be careful with those words.
So the money demand is the money you want to hold in the pocket.
Yes. Will be more.
I think so. Like if they don't put the money, if they don't want to put money in the stock market, so they want to hold more money in the pocket, right?
Yes, they want to hold more money in the pocket, and what would they do? What would they do
will
if more money in the pocket?
They will withdraw their money from
Yes.
the stock market or from the bank.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so the money demand will shift upward.
Yes.
And then the interest rate will become higher.
Yes.
Given the same amount of income and output.
Yes.
So that the LM curve it will shift upward.
Exactly. Okay, thank you for your good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is how the collapse of the stock market or the banking system affects the NM curve position. Okay, when the stock market or the financial market in general get into a big trouble, the public will have a higher money demand. They want to hold money for safety. So the money demand curve will be increasing and the NM curve will shift upwards. It implies that the market interest rate now should be higher than before to attract people to put money in the banking system rather than withdrawing money. Okay, so there are some situations affecting the position of the NM curve. Okay, so now we have two equations, the IS equation and the NM equation, and just combining them into the same diagram to identify the equilibrium and to see what happened to the economy when something changed. And what should the central bank or the government intervene in the market to have balance the market or to achieve some its target, okay, some of its objective, okay. But before coming to the next section, we can have break for 50 minutes, okay. Nó nghỉ giải lao 15 phút nhé trước khi bước sang cái phần mới là cân bằng chung cả hai thị trường nhé. Ok, bây giờ 9:30, 10 giờ cái 15 chúng ta tiếp tục. Okay, so let's continue.
Thầy ơi, em hỏi một chút được không ạ?
Ơi.
Trong tất cả những cái mô hình này thì cái interest rate mà họ đang nhắc đến là interest rate của cái gì ạ?
Chung một interest rate thôi, tức là em không cần phải phân tách ra thành lãi suất của cổ phiếu hay lãi suất của trái phiếu hay lãi suất ngân hàng, nó chung một. Tại vì thường là nó sẽ đồng điệu với nhau, nó lên cùng lên xuống cùng xuống, thành ra là cái mô hình gốc này xây dựng năm 37. Thì lúc đấy cái thị trường tài chính nó chưa đến mức gọi là develop như ngày nay, chưa phát triển như ngày nay, nó chưa còn đa dạng các cái công cụ tài chính, thành ra là gần như nó là đơn lãi suất thôi, có một vài cái mức lãi suất, và những cái lãi suất đấy thì nó đồng điệu với nhau, trái phiếu chính phủ hay là lãi suất ngân hàng hay lãi suất trái phiếu doanh nghiệp hay lợi tức cổ phiếu thì nó cũng rất là đồng điệu, nó không phức tạp như bây giờ.
Thế còn về cái kiểu mà về cái gì nhỉ, cái money demand ấy ạ? Thì cái đấy là nó bao gồm cả tiền trong ví với cả tiền ở trong cái demand deposit đúng không ạ?
Đúng rồi. Cứ nói đến money thì chúng ta đều hiểu phải là gồm cash và demand deposit. Money là khái niệm, là phương tiện thanh toán, nó gồm hai từ đấy.
Thế còn lúc đấy mà mọi người cứ nhắc đến là kiểu mà nếu như mà lãi suất tăng thì sẽ gửi tiền vào ngân hàng nhiều hơn, thì đấy là đang nhắc đến cái saving deposit.
Đấy là time deposit, saving deposit.
Saving deposit
nó có kỳ hạn. Chứ còn cái demand deposit của em đấy là cái tiền gửi không kỳ hạn, tức là em rút lúc nào rút không thì cái lợi suất nó gần như bằng không. Chứ còn cái saving deposit nó là time deposit, tức là tiền gửi có kỳ hạn. Okay, so let's continue. So now you already have two equilibrium, the goods and services market equilibrium, that is IS equation, and we just construct the money market equilibrium, that is NM equation. Okay, so you see that we have two equations, two economic variable, output and interest rate. It means that we need two equations to find out the solution. So now we have two equations, IS and MM, and then we can combine them into the same system of equation, and we can find out the solution. Okay, so let's repeat the IS equation. You see the IS equation is the equilibrium of the goods and services market. On the left side, Y denote for stand for output or income. Okay, this is the production of the economy. On the right side of the equation is our expenditure. Our expenditure consists of three components: household consumption, C, investment spending of firms, I, and government purchase. Okay, and our household consumption depend on the after-tax income. It means that income minus the tax income tax. Okay, and the investment spending depend on the interest rate. Okay, that is IS equation. And you can see that in this equation we have two economic variable, two unknown economic variable, Y income and R interest rates. For the second equation, NM equation, the money supply equals the money demand. Money supply denoted by M. You can divide it by P, price level, or you can move P on the right side. It depends on you. Okay. Money supply over price equals the real money supply. Money supply M unique M is called nominal money supply. M thì là cung tiền danh nghĩa, nominal money supply. Còn M chia cho giá thì gọi là real money supply, cung tiền thực tế. And it would be equal to the money demand. And money demand is the function of interest rate and income. Okay. Higher interest rate, lower money demand. Higher income, higher money demand. Okay. So we have two equations. And one again, we have two unknown economic variables, R and Y. And just so this system of equation, you can get the equilibrium interest rate and equilibrium income. Okay, very simple. So if you show this equation on the graph, you can get the equilibrium more more visually. Here on the vertical scale is the interest rate. On the horizontal is income or output, depend on they are the same, depend on the what you use, okay, on the situation, but they are the same meaning because income equal expenditure and equal production. So any term you use is not problem. So the IS curve slope downward because at the high interest rate we produce we invest less. Okay, the investment spending of the firm less. Firm will buy fewer machines. So the production of the economy will be less. Okay, but when interest rate go down, firm will invest more. They will buy more machine, more material, and so on. So the economy will produce more goods and service. So production will be higher. Okay, that is the explanation for the shape of IS curve. For the NM curve, it slope upward. We already explained. And the equilibrium, overall equilibrium of both market is at the intersection of two curves here, R1 and Y1. Okay, and this interest rate and this outcome, money demand equal money supply, quantity of goods and service produce equal quantity of goods and service is what we want to buy. So no excess supply or no excess demand, and therefore no pressure to move away from this point, and that is called the equilibrium of the economy. Okay, that is the way we identify the equilibrium. Okay, and now we can use this diagram, this model, to explain for different policy of the government, different fluctuation of the economy on the interest rate, on the investment spending, on the income, and also in the price level. Of course, we can analyze. So now let's start with the first economic fluctuation. Now, who please tell me what would happen to the economy if the public feel optimistic about the future of the economy? Let's explain what happened to the economy when the public feel optimistic about the future of the economy. Here you have to identify the impact on interest rates, on the income, on the consumption, on the investment spending. Okay, for economic variable, you have to explain interest rate, income, consumption, and investment spending. How would they change if the public feel optimistic about the future of the economy? You can show that on the diagrams. Okay, you can have 2 minutes to think of, and then I will ask some of you to give answer. Okay. Miss Nguyễn Thị Hạnh. Nguyễn Thị Hạnh, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me what would happen to the economy, including the interest rate in income, consumption, and investment spending, if the public feel optimistic about the future of the economy?
I think that people will invest more.
Exactly. When we feel optimistic about the future, we will consume more, and especially we will invest more, because we can believe that we make a higher future, a higher profit in the future.
Yes.
So what would happen next?
And IS curve will shift right.
Yes. When we invest more, we consume more. They are the component of IS equation. So the IS equation curve will shift to the right,
Yes.
implying higher spending. Then what happened to interest rates?
The interest rate will increase.
Exactly. Interest rate will be higher. Income will be
increased.
Yes. What happened to consumption?
The consumption will increase too.
Yes, the consumption will increase because we feel optimistic, and now income also increase, so we consume more. What about happen to investment spending?
The investment will increase because the interest rate increase.
Interest rate increase, so investment spending increase or decrease?
Investment spending will decrease.
Yes, but at first, what happened to investment spending?
The investment at first increasing.
Yes, at first investment spending increase, but now the interest rate go up, so investment spending will decrease, move into the opposite direction. So there are two ways, two direction, two-way impact on the investment spending. But normally the first impact is larger than the second impact. So eventually investment spending still increase. Okay. Okay, thank you for your answer. So that is one example to illustrate how the economy changes when there is a change in our expectation about the future of the economy. Okay, using the ISMM equation, ISMM model. Okay, another example. Please tell me what happened to the interest rate, to the income, consumption, and investment spending if there is a stock market crash, the stock market collapse. Then what happened? What happened to those economic variables? Okay. 2 minutes for you.
Em thấy là stock market crash ngay thời điểm hiện tại hay là tăng trong tương lai ạ?
Hiện tại luôn đi.
Vâng.
Teacher, can you repeat the question?
My question is that if the stock market collapse or collapse the same meaning. It means that the stock price fall down a lot. Then what happened to interest rate, income, consumption, and investment spending?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. The next person, Miss Thu Phương.
I think when the stock market crash, the investment will decrease.
Investment spending will decrease. Okay, that is one impact. Any other impact?
And the consumption will decrease also.
Okay. Any other impact? It means that which curve will be shifted? Which shift?
The IS.
IS. Okay, because we consume less, we invest less. Okay, that is one. Does it affect the LM curve equation?
The LM equation will shift to the right.
Right. Why I think so?
I think when the stock market crash, the interest rate will no. I think the LM will shift to the left.
Why?
Because the income will decrease and the interest rate will, the income will decrease and the interest rate will increase.
When the stock market crashes, which you hold, money or stock?
We will own money.
Yes, we try to hold money. If the stock market crash, holding stock is so risky because they can keep decreasing in value. So you should sell quickly the stock, and therefore you hold more money. And when you do so, the interest rate will go up or go down?
Will go up.
Yes, will go up because we withdraw money from the financial system. So the financial system must raise the interest rate to prevent you from withdrawing money. Okay, so the NM curve will shift upwards to the left. So eventually, what happened to the interest rate and income?
The interest rate will increase.
Yes, interest rate will increase, income will decrease, and consumption and investment also will decrease. Okay, because of bad expectation about the stock market, so our wealth reduce, and at the same time the income reduce, you consume less, the interest rate go up, you must invest less. Okay, so that is the outcome of the economy if the stock market crash occurs. You can see, you can check the appropriateness of the outcome here with the reality. Okay, you can see that's in 2008 when the stock market in US collapsed, the financial crisis occurs. You see that the interest rate in US increased to a very high level before the government intervention. The interest rate go up a lot, and we can see that the production of the economy, the consumption, and the investment spending, all of them go down a lot. Okay, so it's quite appropriate. Okay, thank you for your answer. Okay, so now you can go to the exercise of this chapter and let's see some situation. Okay, let's see exercise 6. Okay, let's see exercise 6 in your textbook in this chapter, the same chapter. Okay. Yeah, on page 336 or 37. 336. Okay. You can do it very quickly. Very simple for you. Just use to this information to construct the IS and the NM equation, and then show the equilibrium interest rate and incomes. Okay, very simple. And then I will have an additional question using the information of this exercise. I will provide you the additional information, and I will request you to do other work. But at first, let's do this. Question A and question D, drawing you can ignore. It's quite simple for you. Okay, you do it very quickly within 2 or 3 minutes, and then I will ask some of you to give the answer, to show your answer. You can show on your word, and then you show on the screen. You say what you do on the screen for other people. Okay. Các bạn có thể làm trên Word hoặc là làm trên Word được. Xong rồi các bạn để xem màn hình cho cả lớp nhé, để chúng ta xem chúng ta làm nào. Chờ bạn vừa rồi là Thu Phương rồi đúng không? Đoạn tiếp theo nhờ bạn Diệu Thúy ạ. Diệu Thúy có thể share cái màn hình của Diệu Thúy, bài làm của Diệu Thúy lên được.
Thế em không làm trên Word ạ.
Thế làm trên gì?
Em làm ra giấy, em làm nháp ạ.
Làm nháp thì chụp vào cùng share lên cũng được.
Ok, thầy chờ em 5 phút.
Ok.
Thế cái mà express meaning of variables ấy ạ, thì nói miệng được không ạ?
Cái gì không tính toán thì nói miệng được.
Ok ạ.
Dạ, Diệu Thúy xong chưa?
Em xong rồi đấy ạ. Trong lúc đợi gửi ảnh thì em sẽ nói các biến trước ạ.
Ok.
Okay. The meaning of the following variables. First, y express the output.
Yes.
Z aggregate demand or income. Second, C express the consumption spending. Next, I express the investment spending. G expresses the government spending. The letter R express the interest rate. T for taxes. P for price levels, and M for nominal money supply.
Exactly. Okay. Now let's construct the IS equation. What is the in?
Đây ạ, để em tìm cách gửi ảnh lên. Em gửi rồi ạ, thầy nhận được chưa ạ?
Em share đấy chứ, hay là em gửi email à?
Không, gửi qua box chat ạ.
Book chat á. Em không share được à? Em không share trên màn hình để em nói trình bày được mà.
Nhưng mà ảnh mà có phải là Word đâu thầy?
Không thì em share màn hình thôi. Thì trên màn hình của em có cái ảnh đấy thì em share màn hình của em thì nó sẽ hiện ra cái ảnh của em chụp thôi.
Vâng, phải là em chứ.
Thì em sẽ cắt can trong shift E. Nó sẽ ra phần share content.
Nhưng mà bị mờ á thầy.
Không, chắc không mờ đâu. Nhìn thấy share content rồi đúng không?
Vâng, em biết share nhưng mà em sợ nó mờ.
Không mờ đâu. Chữ làm gì nữa mở. Rõ mà. Zoom lên.
Thầy bình tĩnh. How to share.
Zoom lên nhìn rõ mà.
Can you see it now?
Yes, you can zoom in so everyone can see it.
This is Messenger, so I can't know how to zoom it in.
Em thử tải thành xuống file ảnh ấy, em tải trước ấy xong rồi bắt đầu em mới.
It's okay, okay. Is it okay now?
Yes, you can zoom in it, zoom in.
How to?
Đấy, đúng rồi. Em ấn đấy, zoom in lên.
Cái này nó rất mất rồi thầy. À đây.
Okay.
And here's my answers for the exercise.
Yes. The IS equation, it is the sum of CIGS. So, okay. NM equation, money demand and money supply equal to each other. Okay, so you get the NM equation. Okay, so you solve both equation at the same. At the same time, so you get the equilibrium interest rate and equilibrium outcome output. Okay, and it is what is the interest rate? The equilibrium interest rate is how many percent?
5%.
5%, and output is 1,000. Okay, thank you for your answer. And now my further question for you. Now, if the government want to increase the output to 1,100, okay, assuming that now the economy is in recession, the potential output is 1,100. So to achieve this target, this level of output, by how much does the government change its spending?
Okay. Spending.
Okay, that is the first requirement. The change the government spending, that is the fiscal policy, chính sách tài khoá, fiscal policy. The second question, if the government want to achieve this level of output, by how much does the government change its tax spending, income tax? Okay.
For the first one, the government would have to decrease the output from
increase from 1,000 to 1,100.
To increase the output from 1,000 to 1,100, the government spending would have to increase by 250 units.
How can you know that?
As we have the formula delta G multiply.
I think you have to note down write down your answer and then you solve again because it's a bit complicated. Cái gì?
Lại viết rồi lại chụp ảnh à?
Không thì em viết trên Word đâu, em viết nhanh nhanh một chút, ta không phải viết cầu kỳ đâu, chỉ cần viết phương trình nào xong rồi ý chung thôi, không phải quá cặn kẽ như này đâu. Viết phương để các bạn.
And what is your second question?
Okay, that is all for you. The next two question, next two question for other person. Let me repeat the next two questions.
I mean, what is your second questions about?
You only answer for government spending. By how much does the government change its spending to achieve that target?
May I turn now? Right.
Yes. Chắc lại viết ra giấy chụp thì nhanh hơn em ạ. Chụp gửi mail tí mà. Động tác gửi vào email thì chắc trong vòng độ 30 giây chứ mấy. Ok, thì đấy là for other person. The next two question. If the government want to increase the income to 1,100, the same for the question 2-3. By how much does the government change its income tax? Okay. By how much does the central bank change the money supply? So you have to do the two calculation. One, you have to identify the new income tax to achieve that level of income. Second, you have to identify the new money supply to achieve that level of income. Okay. If you can do so, then you can understand how the policy work. The government knows the current output, the government knows the expected output, and then the government can know how it change spending, income tax, or money supply.
I'm sorry.
Thầy ơi.
Ơi.
Em hỏi em hỏi lại đề bài là cái câu 1 là tăng từ 1.000 lên 1.001, còn là về của government với cả tax.
Câu 1 là government spending thôi, là Thúy làm. Còn
Câu
hai câu
hai.
tiếp theo là chính phủ phải điều chỉnh income tax bao nhiêu và chính phủ phải điều chỉnh money supply là bao nhiêu, hai ý riêng biệt nhau không ạ?
Dạ vâng.
Income tax và money supply bao nhiêu để đạt được cái income là 1.001.
Dạ vâng, dạ vâng.
I have already sent it to the meeting chat.
Ok. Vâng, đợi tôi một chút nhé. Phải có điện thoại. Alo. Anh chào Quyên. Thì đây gửi thì gửi luôn kìa. Ok rồi gửi luôn kìa. Ok, let's continue. Và Thúy có thể nhìn trên cái đây, thầy thì share cái màn hình của thầy cho các bạn, Thúy đỡ phải share vậy. Xong rồi giải thích trên cái này cũng được. Ok. Thúy. Okay, can you explain how you answer? Thúy, are you there?
Oh, here am I.
Yes. Can you explain why you do so?
I think when the government want to increase the output, they have to as a change in the output equal the change in the government spending multiply 1/1 minus MPC. So I have the result.
Okay, if you do so, it means that you assume other thing unchanged. Okay, interest rate unchanged. But then you see when the government spending increase and output increase to 1,100, what happened to interest rate? Higher or lower?
Higher.
Yes, exactly. When we consume more, we spend more. Interest rates should go up. But when interest rates go up, what happened to the investment spending?
Investment spending would decrease.
Yeah, it would decrease. So now you assume that the government spending increased by 25, so it will increase the output by 100 exactly, because you just write formula. But at the same time, investment spending decreased by a certain amount, and therefore output will reduce at the same time. So if you do this, it's not the right answer because you ignore the second impact on investment spending through the change in interest rates. Do you understand my point?
Yes.
Yes. So please correct it again. Try to write down the IS equation and NN equation at the same time. And now try to find G using that system of equation. You have to solve the two equations at the same time because it is to ensure that both equilibrium are satisfied. The other person who do with who calculate for tax, income tax, and money supply, you also do the same way. Okay. You also always write down both equations at the same time, and then you can solve the. You can find out the answer. Okay, Thủy, have you find out the answer?
Wait for me about 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Yes, this is a new IS equation because we change the garment spending. Okay. And we know that the new equilibrium income is 11,100. So you see that you substitute 1100 into this IS equation. And here is the NM equation. Oh. It's a bit more complicated. Okay, the first equation is right. The second equation Thì như em có gì sai sai thì phải.
Thấy cả hai cái này đều bằng y mà thầy.
Cái này bằng y mà thì em thay luôn y bằng 1001 vào cái phương trình dưới rồi. Tính lãi suất thì còn lấy viết
không, cái này lại hai ẩn ạ, bởi vì r cũng thay đổi xong rồi delta g nữa nên là phải tính cả r lẫn delta g.
cái này thì bố delta g với r hai đây bản chất vẫn là 1001 này. Không, với hai phương trình này thì giải được rồi đấy. Nhưng mà hình như bạn giải sai ra. Hai phương trình hai ẩn số thì đúng là chúng ta sẽ giải ra được 750 cộng với cả 50R đấy là LM, phương trình LM.
À, bạn ấy giải hệ sai rồi ạ.
Giải hệ sai, với viết phương trình hệ phương trình thì viết đúng, nhưng mà thực ra em chỉ cho bằng 1001 bằng 750 cộng 50R được rồi. Nhưng mà biết y là 1001 rồi thì thay luôn y 1001 vào phương trình LM. Thì tính ra R sẽ bằng 7. 7 nhân 50 là 350 cộng 750 là 1001 đúng không ạ? R bằng 7 thì em thay ngược trở lại phương trình trên equation. 7 nhân 40 là 280. Đúng không ạ? 1200 trừ 1001 là 100, 280 là 180, 180 chia 4. 180 chia 4 là 45. Tại delta G phải tăng 45 chứ không phải là giảm, đúng không ạ? Muốn tăng chi tiêu đương nhiên muốn tăng sản lượng em phải tăng chi tiêu, đây em phải tính ra là giảm chi tiêu. Thì đấy, cái phương trình giải hệ phương trình thì sai rồi, nhưng mà còn hệ phương trình em viết thì đúng rồi. Nhưng không cần viết cái đoạn 1200 cái trừ 40R cộng 4 delta G ở dưới, mình chỉ viết luôn nó bằng 1001 bằng 750 cộng 50R thôi. Đúng không? Thì đấy là cái cách, that is the way we can identify the size of government spending we should change to achieve a certain level of income. Okay. Okay, the next two questions for other persons. Okay. Other person. Let's see who have an answer today. Okay, Thủy. Linh Chi.
Vâng ạ.
Yes. Have you got the answer?
Em xem màn hình ạ.
Okay, rồi.
Em gọi T' chính là cái task mới thì sẽ có hệ phương trình này ạ.
Ok.
Và giải ra thì R bằng 7 và T phải bằng 140, có nghĩa là task phải giảm đi 60.
Yes, we should reduce the tax. So the way to find out the answer is the same. What about money supply? Okay, let me ask Quang. Is okay for you? Quang, Nhật Quang. So all person can answer today. Good.
Hello.
Yes. Can you show the way to the new money supply to increase output to 1,100?
Yes. Wait me a minute.
Okay, you can have 1 or 2 minutes.
So the income the income will increase by 100. So the monetary base will increase by 100 multiplied by P is 4. So it will increase by 400.
No, you couldn't show that, because when the income increase, interest rate will not stay the same. Okay.
Oh,
If
okay.
you do so, you assume the interest rate unchanged. But
Yeah.
actually, when you increase the money supply, the interest rate will change. So you couldn't show that like that. You have to do like what Miss Thủy or Miss Chi do for calculating the government spending or the tax, income tax.
Yes. So can I do it again?
Yeah, of course.
Em ăn thầy để cho em hỏi vậy ạ.
Tôi anh hỏi đi.
Dạ, là ở câu 2 bài tập về nhà là if the government has to subsidize public, có nghĩa là government làm gì ạ thầy?
Giảm thuế, trợ cấp có nghĩa là các em hiểu đấy là tax nó sẽ giảm đi.
Vâng ạ, vâng em hiểu.
Dạ. Thuế với trợ cấp hai chiều ngược nhau thôi.
Vâng.
Đấy, đây vừa gửi cái bài tập mà hai cái câu thêm cũng dựa trên bài này nhé, tất cả dữ liệu vẫn là bài này. Xuất phát đi từ câu đề bài đấy. Giờ sau khi giải xong được câu A, câu B, C, D đề bài rồi thì làm tiếp thêm 2 ý này. Tuần sau là bắt đầu mình học trực tiếp trên lớp rồi nhỉ?
Vâng ạ.
Quang ra chưa?
Em sắp ra, thầy chờ chút ạ. Hello.
Yes.
When when the income is 1,100, the interest rate will reduce to 2.5%.
Why?
Be, due to the ES equation.
Yes, IS equation. IS equation is still the same as before because changing the money supply doesn't affect the IS equation. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the income is 1,100. So substitute this income into the IS equation. You get the interest rate 2.5.
Yes.
Then what would you do next?
After that, I substitute in the LM equation.
Yes.
Then I guess the MS divide P is equal Y minus the interest rate multiplied by 50.
Yes.
50.
Okay.
And the MS is 3,900.
Yes, you see that you know the price, you know the income, you know the interest rate, you can calculate the money supply. It means that money supply will increase or reduce?
The money supply will increase.
Yes, increase from 3,000 to 3,900. Okay. So that is the way we can identify the trend in money supply, in income tax, and government expenditure to achieve a certain level of income. Okay. That is how the government does in practice. Okay, so our job now is just to identify the consumption function, investment function, and money demand function. If they can successfully estimate those functions, they can accurately or approximately accurately estimate the size of trend in income and spending or money supply or income tax to achieve the certain level of income. But actually, to estimate the money demand function or consumption function or investment spending is very, very complicated. Okay, a lot of error will arise when we do such estimation, and that explains why making policy in reality is not an easy job, not an easy job. Okay. I have one question for you that I already sent in the chat box. Okay, you do it the same way, but now my situation is a bit more complicated. Instead of using only one policy, now your job have to combine two policies, because one policy is only achieve one target, but my target now is double. I have two targets at the same time: increase output but keep the interest rate unchanged, or subsidize some group of people in the society but keep total income unchanged. Okay, so how does the government use a combination of these policies? Okay, you will do this exercise and you will send to my mail before next week class. It means that before on Wednesday. Okay, and on next Thursday I will quickly correct this exercise. We will continue with the new topic, new chapter in macroeconomic. Okay, have you got any further question? Is there anyone have question? No question. Các bạn có câu hỏi gì thêm không? Vâng. Và nếu không ai câu hỏi gì thêm thôi, hôm nay chúng ta nghỉ đây nhé. Để các bạn làm bài tập, buổi sau chúng ta gặp nhau trên lớp.
Bài tập thì sẽ là cái phần bài thầy gửi trong chat.
Hai cái bài trong chat thầy gửi đấy.
Được không?
Ok, thì thôi bye bye các bạn.
Vậy là thầy ạ.